This is Kanaka Creek, part of the Fraser River watershed. It flows through the country suburbs of Maple Ridge, and with it, a breath of life to the surrounding forest and marshes and wildlife. Though as developments continue in the area, the creek is becoming more and more at risk. Weaving through the lower end of Maple Ridge, the creek itself is a lifeline to the local environment, but is slowly being overtaken by developments. In areas such as this, the riparian sun has been reduced to a mere 5 to 10 meters. The cause of this being local housing developments positioned too close to the shoreline, which in turn has greatly reduced the density of vegetation normally seen near the water's edge. Aside from the dangers to the environment, building this close to the creek poses a danger to humans as well. This portion of the trail had caved due to erosion. Had a house been built this close to the water, it would have been affected. This activity has greatly increased the erosion seen in parts of the creek as swaths of vegetation were removed for paving the trail. In some sections, the main road has got dangerously close to the shoreline. This will not only encourage riparian degradation, but will pose a dangerous risk to the road itself. Though in other areas, the riparian sun appears quite healthy, with plenty of marshy tall grasses, dead plant material, and dense vegetation. How can we remedy this danger? One solution would be to change our building policy by inducing policies that directly prevent building within the 52 riparian area. We can greatly reduce the threat posed on the area as well as the threat the area would have against us. This would also lead to a decrease in the erosion caused by developmental deforestation. Another topic that should be addressed regarding the creek is the recreation activity in the area. Being part of the Trans-Canada Trail, the area is easily accessible on foot or by bike. The trail is frequented by locals and attracts small numbers of tourists. It also acts as a shortcut for the children attending the local elementary school. Though there are some factors that people often forget when exploring these trails, such as the fact that this land is to be shared. Bears, among other predators, are the prevalent species here. They often roam the area with their young in the early fall. Though they don't pose that much of a threat to people living in the area, there are always reminders that this is their land and that we have to be careful not to harm them. By living so close to their territory, and by impeding on it in some places, we may pose ourselves to be a threat to the local bird population. Though there have not been any attacks on the main path, there are many unofficial paths that have been forged by people into their territory. Because these paths are not under the protection of Parks Canada, their safety to the environment as well as to the people who use them are unsure. In preparedness for this, we must make the rules clear to those using the trails, so long as they don't impede on Mother Nature. Scene may very well leave us alone in return. However, if we force ourselves into nature's domain, we may find that she will do the same to us, forcing the animal population into our living spaces and into our streets. One of the most important features of the Kanaka Creek is the fish fence. To the local salmon population, it acts as a helping hand to safe spawning grounds. However, the area itself has been impacted heavily by human activity. Most notably is the overpass built over the fence area. The overpass itself poses a major danger of falling debris in the river, ranging from lesser air quality due to emissions to small plastics which pollute the waters to large falling debris which has the potential to kill fish in the river. Another major issue with the area is that it poses as prime hunting grounds for bears. These bears are attracted to the sealed buffet of food provided by the fence, which brings them dangerously close to civilization. It also doesn't help much that nearby is a cattle farm, in which several bear sightings have occurred. Though it is not known whether or not bears have attacked in any of the cattle, it shows very clearly the dangers of living too close to nature's domain. Also in the area, there are a few small rubbish dumps. These rotting pumpkins will certainly draw out scavengers such as raccoons and crows, which could be dangerous this close to the main road. These issues could easily be fixed as long as we have the drive to fix them. Aside from the building policy mentioned before, you should also look into active policy. By preventing human intervention close to locations such as fish fences, we can reduce the risk of accidental harming. Municipal developments of large roads should also be banned. Large roads built this close to environmental sensitive areas can only In conclusion, the Kanaka Creek area is a vital part of the local environment and will continue to be so long as we can respect its value. If the creek is to continue facilitating the wildlife that it does, we must as well be able to give it the space it requires. By developing into nature's domain, we run the risk of forcing her into ours. By intruding into our marked trails and building into sensitive areas, we risk accidental habitat destruction. By simply uttering the common idea that nature is to be respected and given the space it deserves, Kanaka Creek may be able to continue being the vital breath of life that it is for many years to come.